Hello and welcome to another Move With Ease with me, Caroline. I'm a movement teacher and a clinical massage therapist. So I help people even on and off the couch to move with better ease and reduce pain and decrease tension within their bodies. So we're going to look at, it's one of my favourite topics actually, head forward posture. So what I'd like you to do is, whether you're sitting or standing, just start to kind of notice yourself. So first off, just come to stillness, notice your body as you sit or stand. And let's start with our head. We're not actually going to move the head just yet, just have a sense of where your head is in space. And you can always do this also looking at yourself in the mirror. So you might notice that maybe one of your ears is a little lower towards your shoulder, or maybe the head rotates, turns to one side. Is one side of the neck therefore shorter than the other? And that might be coming from the neck, it might be coming from the shoulder complex, but it's just about noticing where your head is in space. Most of us have our heads more forward in space, and that's because of our desk jobs and our driving. But for now, just feel where the head is on top of your shoulders. And do you feel any tension to the back of your neck, to your shoulders and arms, maybe up into your scalp? Is there any tension? And let's just start to move a little. So again, you're not going to change your posture at all, just you're sitting comfortably, that's all, and you're just starting to notice your body and where your head is in space. What I'd like you to do is just take one ear towards the shoulder, notice if that feels comfortable, if there's any kind of lines of pull, and then come to the other side. Is one side more restrictive for you than the other? So for me, when I take my left ear down, I can feel more restriction towards this right side, my right side. And then what about, again, not changing your posture at all? You're going to turn the head to one side, turn it to the other. Do this a few times. How far can you look behind you? So I feel like I've got a little bit more tension to my left side. Now what I'd like you to do, and again I can't see you, so for most of us our heads are weighed more forwards in space than is optimal for us. So just think about taking the head a little backwards in space. So just a fraction, just a small movement. It's a sense of bringing the chin back towards the front of your throat. And now, with the attention solely on yourself, why don't you take one ear towards the shoulder, come back to centre, the other ear towards the shoulder. Has that changed any tension, any lines of pull within your body? What about rotating? Again, do you feel that your range has increased? Is there less tension? Just relax your head, so roll your shoulders and allow your head to sit where it wants to sit. And again, just a little quicker now, go from side to side. Notice lines of pull, notice how far you can rotate. And then chin towards front of throat. Lines of pull from side to side. What about your rotation? So I am definitely aware that when I bring my chin in towards my throat just a fraction, I can rotate further. So we're just realigning the vertebra of the neck. So when I'm moving, if I become aware, if I know that my head juts forwards in space, if I can bring my chin back when I walk, and maybe, because I know that this right side is a little tighter, I can either draw my arm down and let that arm swing a little more, or maybe even shift my head a little over towards that left side. I might well decrease that tension. So again, it's starting to be a bit exploratory with your body and noticing when we're maybe not out of alignment, because if there's no pain, but then your alignment's absolutely fine. But we've all got those little subtle quirks. Some of us are really obvious with head forward position, but it's something for you to start to work with. So again, just settle in your comfortable position. Now bring that chin back towards your throat, but also have a sense of lifting up from the crown of the head. And relax back down, head forwards. There's a little slump, there is for me. What about doing that again? Chin in, lift up. Just notice how that makes you feel. The next time you go for a walk, do that. Chin softly in, head lifting up. Think about the back of the head kind of lengthening, being lifted up on an imaginary wall. And where do you look? So if you've set that, you're more likely to be looking towards the horizon. You can look down a little with your eyes, just checking, because obviously I don't want you to start tripping over yourself. But if you're more rounded and the head more forwards, you'll probably find that you're like that as you walk. So if you can just change subtly that alignment of the body, I reckon your walking will feel more ease, and actually the enjoyment of your surroundings will be way nicer. It's way nicer to look at the autumnal trees than it is to look at the chewing gum on our pavements. So, before I was going to show you a muscle, before I do that, we're just going to do the vagal toning trick with the eyes that I did not last week, 2 weeks ago with Move With Ease. So you can find that on my YouTube if you're unfamiliar. We're going to do it just a little more speedily. So you're going to interlink the hands, place the hands behind the back of the head, relaxing the arms. And again, why don't you now bring the chin in a little towards your throat, have that lovely soft lift through the crown of the head. And keeping your head still, you're going to take your eyes, look towards your left side. Don't hold your breath. And as you're looking, you're just waiting for a sign that the nervous system is resetting to a state of relaxation and calm. So that might be a breath change. It might be that you sigh, you might yawn. It might be really obvious to you or subtle. It might be that it takes you a minute to do. It might be that it takes you 5 seconds to do. So we're going to be here a little bit longer. And I've just done a lovely yawn. Come, bring your eyes back to the centre. So it might be that you need to take longer to do this. Then look over towards your left side. And I'm so attuned with this that I literally yawn straight away. So you just do this for a little longer if you haven't kind of got that response with your nervous system. And you can do this lying down. You don't necessarily have to have the hands there. It's just to stop you rotating. What that does is realigns vertebra 1 and 2 on top of one another, which is exactly bringing the chin in. That's what we're trying to do. So once you've done that, rotate your head, and I've got way better rotational movement. And maybe go from side to side, just start to notice. So we're going to look at one of the deep neck muscles, longus coeli. Longus because it's long, it goes all the way down to some of the thoracic vertebra, but actually the top portion attaches all the way up to C1, what we've just focused on, that realigning. So I'm going to show you a quick picture in my well-thumbed book. So it's at the front of the neck, and you can see how long kind of it is. And it's actually quite thin and spindly. What it does is it rotates the head into the same side. So if you look to the right, it's one of the muscles that takes your head to the right. And when it becomes a little shorter, it takes the ear to the side. And bilaterally, when they work together, it brings the chin towards the throat. So in forward head posture, if you've got this position, your longus coeli, which works in unison with the sternocleidomastoid, these lovely ropey muscles that we talked about a couple of weeks ago, are in a held long position. So if we can do things like the vagal tone using our eyes, become aware of being more upright with the chin in towards the front of the throat, notice, have a look at yourself in the mirror, notice your little quirks, and as you move, as you sit, becoming more aware of yourself, you can make shifts and changes. So, what I would like you to do, we're going to do this seated first, and then I'm going to ask you to come down to lying, because some of you might not be able to come down to lying, say if you're in an office environment, unless they're very happy with you springing out of your chair. You're going to interlink the fingers. So your hands behind the back of your head are your pretend floor. So if you can come down, actually we'll do this sitting and then I'll come down to the floor, because we're going to do it with the ball after. What I'd like you to do is bring the chin in towards the throat. We've done this already, but without the hands. And then I want you to press the back of the head into your hands for 5, for 4, for 3, for 2, for 1. And you're going to release. So you're going to bring the chin in towards the throat. You'll actually feel the head lift up on the palms of your hands. And then you're going to press. Not too strongly, you're not going to bring the chin up towards the ceiling, but you'll feel that you've got increased pressure into your hands. And then you're going to release. So you tuck the chin in a little. It's not a gross movement, it's subtle. Press the head into your hands for 5, for 4, for 3, for 2, for 1. Lovely. So I'm just going to come sideways on. And so you can see the little chin tuck, the pressing of the head back into the hands. Lovely. So, if you have the luxury of floor space and a massage ball, you can do that movement, but you'll have the massage ball, hopefully you can see, to the very base of the skull. So not the back of the neck, the very base of the skull. So let's move that big ball out of the way. Come down to lying, feet are on the floor. So if you don't have a massage ball, hopefully you can see me. If you don't have a massage ball, you're going to do exactly what we did seated. Tuck the chin in. You'll feel the head, back of the head, move backwards in space, and then softly press the back of the head down into the floor. You count for 5 seconds, you release. Chin tuck, press for 5 seconds. Aim to do 10, maybe aim to do 2 sets of 10. Now, if you've got the soft massage ball, this isn't a hard spiky ball. They are unpleasant, they are not nice. Please, I'm very passionate about the soft massage balls, not the spiky ones. So it comes, it will just sit there, it will want to be there. It's not the back of the neck, it's where the neck meets the skull to the centre. And what you do is, let's start by bringing the chin in towards the throat and then pressing the back of the head softly into the ball. And again, that's for 5 seconds. You release. Little chin tuck. So the back of the head glides just a fraction backwards in space. And then you softly press for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release. Little chin tuck. Pressing down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So do carry on doing that. I'm going to come up and waffle for a little bit longer. So what that does is, in the head forward position, where you've got longus coeli, not just longus coeli, but that's our focus, moving forwards, lengthening to kind of hold the head, it's locked long in space. That position, doing the chin tuck and the pressing the head back, strengthens those muscles. And it's also so good for your proprioception, that if you become aware that when you sit, when you move, that you naturally have your head forwards in space, as soon as you become aware of that, you can bring your head a little back in space. The massage balls they're just so ace, because you've got the Galia aponeurosis, the fascia to the skull, remembering that you can't take the head off of the neck, you can't take the neck away from the head, they're integrated. So we can't separate the body. So with that compression and that release, when you release, you start to hydrate that fascial tissue, and it won't just be local, it will help the whole of the head, the whole of the back of the neck, and maybe even more globally. So we are going to finish, because the longus coeli works hand in hand with the ropey muscles of the sternocleidomastoid. We're just going to finish with just a soft massage. So it's using rotation as well. So what you're going to do is sit nice and tall, that little chin tuck, that sense of the head gliding up. And then you're going to take the kind of the pointy knuckles, and you're going to come in just softly to the front of the throat. Do not prod yourself. Just softly let them sit there to the side of the sternocleidomastoid, but just to the side of the trachea, the windpipe. And you'll feel your tissue tension. So if you just lightly press that down, your knuckles in, they will want to stop. So don't force this, just wait for it to soften. Then what I want you to do is keep that downward pressure. So it's a kind of a backward pressure. And you're going to turn the head away from your hand as you glide your hand in the other direction. So keep that soft downward pressure and glide around. So do that to the other side. So soft knuckles, not like that, don't overgrip. You're coming in, that's your ropey SCM, that's your trachea. You're coming into that, they will just fit, it's just like a bit of a groove. You apply soft downward pressure, you will meet tension, and you stop at tension, you don't push beyond it. And then you keep that level of tension. The hand glides that way and backwards as you turn your head. Remember, chin tucked a little, lift up through crown of the head. So we're aligning vertebra 1, vertebra 2 on top of one another. That will help your brain. It feeds the cranial nerves that originate from the brain stem. And then you're rotating the head, drawing the tissue around. Oh, and I'll tell you, it just feels so good. I hope you're enjoying this self-massage. So we've worked longus coeli, a deep neck flexor, and then the more superficial ropey SCM. So the next time you're out and about or sitting having your lunch, notice where your head is in space. Think about just bringing it a little back and lifting yourself tall. Look to the horizon, don't look at the gum on the pavement. I hope you enjoyed that, and I'll see you very soon. Enjoy the rest of your Monday. Bye-bye.